Edition of the 802 Cup Series podcast. We are on iRacing Sunday afternoons, Sunday evenings at 6:45. This is a review of week 2 of the playoffs with our race at Chicago, the Windy City 110, and we're headed to Kansas this weekend for round 3. My name is Greg Dreiss. You can watch this podcast live right now on Twitch. We're normally on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, but we had to make a change due to some scheduling conflicts. Our normal guest spot will not be on this edition. It will be tomorrow night. Driver of the car number 4, Brandon Guerin, who we twisted his arm several weeks ago, and he decided to finally come on. So you can, like I said, watch this on Twitch live, or for the next 2 weeks, it will also be on YouTube, where it will live in infamy. Video and audio will be on Anchor by tomorrow. Then we'll upload the audio to Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. And I think there's about a dozen other ones that also carry this. Want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Riptide Radio. Jeff Barefoot, driver car number 9, picks a random finishing position, and the winner gets $5 to use on iRacing. And I happen to be the lucky winner of that last week. So thanks a lot there. And also to DTL Customs and Graphics, who does the league's poster and promotional work for us, and also did all those great paint schemes for the throwback weekend at Darlington. And Wainwright Broadcasting is my little company where we produce the 802 Cup Series podcast, the Joe Sixpack Racing podcast, the Indoor Gardener podcast, and a couple others. So let's jump right now to the Chicago review. Is playoff week 2 is the Windy City 110. Average lap time for that race was 37.74 seconds. We did a total of 110 laps, no green, white checkers, only 3 cautions. One of those was the competition caution. We only spent about 10 laps under caution. It was great. And 11 lead changes. So pretty much every 10 laps, there was a new leader in that race. And happy to say, I was one of them, even though it was under a yellow flag. Average strength of field for this week was 1583. So let's take a look at the top 10 for the Windy City 110. In first place was Frank Zingen, car number 62. Larry Murphy, car number 30, finished second. Cole Jarrett, last week's winner, in car number 88, finished third. Dave Lamaga, car number 28, finished fourth. Nick Larson, car number 82, finished in fifth place. Brandon Guerin, tomorrow night's guest, driver number 4, he finished in sixth. Chris Max, driver number 121, finished in seventh. Number 13, driven by Jason Wiley, finished eighth. John Bewley, car number 47, finished ninth. And Eli Raposa, in car number 46, finished in 10th position. Looking ahead towards Kansas coming up this week. Practice will begin at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And notice on the top of the screen here, turn your clocks ahead. If you show up late to the race, you're probably going to be about 70 laps down. So remember, Saturday night, turn your clocks ahead an hour. No excuses. Don't be late to the race, especially if you're in the top 7. Practice length will be 25 minutes. The qualifying laps, 2 laps, 125 laps for the Sunflower 125, and 2 fast repairs. That's the normal. And weather is looking to be 78 degrees, 55% humidity trackside. Partly cloudy with an afternoon start of 3:11 p.m. 75% fuel in the tank and 3 tire changes. So you got 4 sets of tires. There'll be 3 in the pits. Take a look at our playoff standings right now. The top 7, actually, there is a tie, and it's a pretty tight field right here. First place is Frank Zingen with 1,102 points. He has 2 wins on the season. Second place, tomorrow night's guest, Brandon Guerin, has 1,094 points. Third place, Chris Max, 1,093. Dave Lamaga in fourth place with 1,090. Johnny Barker in fifth place with 1,081. Rob Lowell and John Bewley both tied for sixth with 1,079. Rob has 3 wins. John Bewley has 1 on the season. Drivers still in the money. We will be paying all the way back to P15. Larry Murphy in number 8 with 506 points. Jason Wiley at 495. Nick Larson at 468. Matthew Fanoof at 455. Cole Jarrett at 440. Jeff Barefoot at 420. Eli Raposa with 401. And currently on the bubble, Brandon Redford with 388 points are the drivers that still make up in the money. The top 7 are in the playoffs, and P8 through 15 are fighting for those final positions that pay money. I'd like to give a special shout out to our broadcasters, Extreme Sim TV and Ghost Racing Network, who will be joining us for the remainder of the season. I want to say a very big thank you. We know it's a lot of work to put these broadcasts on, and we want to make sure that we say thank you, and our sponsors also say thank you. In closing, once again, this is the 802 Cup Series podcast, currently live on Twitch, will be uploaded later to YouTube, as well as all the other podcast distributors. Special thanks again to Riptide Radio, our weekly sponsor, DTL Customs and Graphics. I'm Greg Dreiss for the 802 Cup Series podcast on the Wainwright Broadcasting System. Thank you, and we'll see you on the track. And don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., live on Twitch with our special guest driver number 4, Brandon Guerin. Have a good night.